Good morning, everyone. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Welcome to what I call my morning musings. Hope you had a great weekend. Man, I had a good weekend. Performed a wedding ceremony for a really good friend of mine. Hope they do wonderfully well. I'm sharing with you my journey to the full preterist view. And by the way, thanks so much for all the wonderful personal emails expressing your appreciation for sharing that journey. Many of you have already made that journey. Many of you that have corresponded with me are telling me that you're just now beginning that journey, and you have wonderful questions. And I just really appreciate hearing from you. Well, I've been talking a little bit about how my views changed in regard to the book of Revelation. I was raised believing that the book was written somewhere in 95 to 98 AD, written under Domitian, who was supposedly persecuting the church at that time. And so Revelation was supposedly about the fall of Rome in 476 AD, and then ultimately the destruction of the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope, who was taken to be somehow the beast. Domitian's the beast, and then the Pope's the beast, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, one of the things that just astounded me, it's amazing how we can take certain things for granted without ever looking at them critically. And what I mean by that is my professors in seminary just took it for granted that Revelation was written at the time of Domitian. Domitian's the persecutor. Well, when I began to look at the evidence for Domitianic persecution of the church, do you know what I found? Almost nothing. That's right. I was absolutely blown away when I looked at Guthrie's introduction to the Bible, when I looked at F. Bruce. All of these are, basically late-date advocates. When I looked at commentators who are basically all late-date advocates, and they all, especially later writers, did and now do admit that evidence to support a Domitianic persecution of the church is almost non-existent. I'm going, oh, wait a minute. So, late-date advocates are basing their claim to a late date for the writing of the book of Revelation on Domitianic persecution. But Domitian probably never even persecuted the church. So, where's the evidence for the late date? I mean, this was astounding. And I've looked, and I've looked, and I've looked. And what these scholars, historians, are now saying, and let me reiterate, the more modern writers who don't just, regurgitate the testimony, but more modern writers who are historians first, who tell us, such as Richard Niewanger, who is a historian, first of all. And he says there is virtually no evidence that Domitian ever persecuted the church. There is no evidence of any systematic persecution or widespread Domitianic persecution, period. Okay, so, once again, if there's no solid evidence that Domitian ever persecuted the church, then how can we date the book of Revelation under Domitian because of his persecution of the church? You see, that's circular reasoning. But I did find that Nero persecuted the church. I'll have more to say about that. But hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's morning musings. We hope to see you in the morning.